one sees there's certain diseases where one cannot see things as other people do. Like our vision is like sort of yellowish due to some eye disease and things like that. That is your own individual karma. You might see the moon as being yellow, but not everyone sees the moon as yellow. So that is individual karma. So this you can understand. So anyways, the whole universe was created through the collective karma of sentient beings. So that is, you now know how the universe is created according to the Buddhist thought. And so the other results, the common or ordinary results, is that by creating good karma, such as the 6 perfections with right motivation, as a result, one will obtain a very beautiful body. If you want to look handsome or pretty, then you need to accumulate these good karma. Of course, makeup and all of that, that is a way to look nice, but it's not the natural beauty. If you want to be naturally born naturally beautiful, this is it's saying suksang. It means born naturally beautiful. For that, then you need to create good karma. That depends on your good deeds, not on cosmetics or money. And other results of creating good deeds is that all of your projects, whether it's your Dharma projects or it's your job or anything, it will all be fulfilled spontaneously without having to put in much effort. Everything will work out very easily and smoothly. And also other good results are that one's mind will be at peace, one will not be ignorant, because by understanding karma, you have an understanding of how nature works, how the world works, how things work. So you will not be ignorant. And so these are the results which will occur while you are in samsara. As long as you are stuck in cyclic existence and you create good karma like that, these are the results that will ripen. Now for the 11th point. The 11th point presents the results, or the uncommon results of accumulating good karma, as mentioned before. So for this, there is Baldan Tadang Tsenpe Dang, Medu Jungi Chinen Dang, Dinzing Nungshe Zuzhu Dang, Mijik Yangda Rikbayi, Wangju Pusun Tsoba Nam, Tadu Bayi Jiwu. So basically, these are the results which one will attain when one becomes a Buddha. So as I mentioned, accumulating the 6 perfections with the right motivation is it's a direct cause for attaining enlightenment. But one might wonder, okay, by accumulating these causes, I will attain enlightenment. But what happens when I attain enlightenment? What qualities will I have? So Paparamita answers all of that here. And the qualities which one will obtain is that one will have much glory, one will be famous, one will be endowed with the 32 major and 80 minor signs of a fully enlightened Buddha. When you look at the Buddha statue, it doesn't look like an ordinary human. He has the top, which Nisha is sort of like a swirl between the eyebrows. There's usually the Dharma chakra or the Dharma wheel imprinted on the hands, both palms and the feet. And the fingers are quite long. It's quite different. If you just pay attention, you'll notice that the Buddha's body is a little different quite different actually from how we ordinary humans look. So you'll basically obtain all of those special qualities. And of course the voice, one will be able to teach the Dharma in any kind of way. One will be able to speak all languages without having to learn them. And there are many qualities of the Buddha, the fully enlightened one. And one will have marvelous activity the activity, the extent of one's activity of benefiting sentient beings will be just unimaginable. One will have one will be endowed with many types of meditative concentration or samadhi. One will be endowed with cleverness, such as understanding the thoughts of other people and seeing through walls. One's vision will not be obstructed. Just basically all kinds of cleverness. One will also be endowed with power, magic, maybe miracles, you could say, such as being able to fly, being able to multiply one's bodies, maybe turning invisible, and such powers. There are many powers which the Tathagata, the full enlightened Buddha, has. And also the fearlessness, such as the fearlessness of teaching Dharma. The Buddha has no need to fear, because there's nothing which the Buddha does not understand. The Buddha knows everything. He's the all-knowing one. And so therefore nothing to fear that people will harm him, or people will criticize him, or anything like that, or people will say that the teaching that he taught is wrong. The Buddha has nothing to fear. For Dharma teachers, like human, ordinary Dharma teachers, maybe like myself, I might need to be afraid if I'm teaching this correctly, or maybe some mistakes possibly, or if I'm delivering this correctly, and what people might be saying. There's all of these tons of thoughts going around in the mind. So it's sort of like for ordinary people, we have a restless mind. The Buddha doesn't need to have such a restless mind, because there's nothing to fear. If there's nothing to fear, you're confident. When you're confident, then that's basically fearlessness. And the Buddha is also endowed with the correct understanding of things, and is endowed with great power, auspicious power. And these are the ultimate results of accumulating good deeds. These are the results which one will obtain when one becomes a fully enlightened Buddha. Now for the 12th point is about identifying impure generosity, or impure giving, or charity. So what Papa says is that if one were to give, like for example, one has a chicken, one owns a chicken, and one goes to the slaughterhouse and gives the chicken to the slaughterhouse. Yes, generally giving or charity is a good deed, but that's not a good deed. Even though it's giving, you just gave it to the slaughterhouse where it will be killed. So it's the wrong kind of giving. We call that madavichimba, which is impure giving. Not all forms of giving are good. They are also impure. And such one like that is impure giving. And so the action, generally it's giving. The physical action, or it might look like a good for somebody who doesn't understand the situation, but the motivation is that you're giving it to the slaughterhouse so that they can kill it, to take away its life, and so that's not good. So because the motivation is not good, even though it is a form of giving, it is impure generosity. It is not a good deed, and there will be suffering as a result. There will not be happiness for yourself. There's only suffering as a result. So this, with this Papa, which has shown the impure giving. And now for the 13th point, Papa, which shows that at the moment of death, wherever you're born, or the situation in your next life, all depends on the last thought, the thoughts which you have at the moment of your death. 펜제 계획 판매칠 dendro kekyang zorje le libe neje ulpo so tapar dunga gisirkyu tado gewe le sagyang shize diba tsamjana penje dibe pangbichir dendro kekyang zorje le gewe lu iwangbo da nishin choso dedengyu. So there's about 3 verses here. So here there are 2 concepts. There's propelling karma or impelling karma, and it is completing karma. So just 2 things you need to keep in mind. And then if you can understand that, keep that in mind, then you'll understand what is taught here. Propelling karma, which is like throwing, it's the throwing karma. And completing karma. Completing karma is basically, it decides whether you're going to be happy or not. So, what Papa Rinpoche says is that even if one has accumulated negative deeds for one's whole life, one has only done bad things for one's whole life, one is like an evil person for one's whole life. At the moment of death, if suddenly one has a good thought, and one dies with that good thought, then the impelling or the propelling karma is a good karma. So therefore, in the next life, one will be reborn like as a human or as a god or something like that. One will be reborn in the higher realms, even if one has accumulated negative deeds for one's whole life. At the moment of death, your thought was good, then you'll be reborn in a good place. However, because you have accumulated negative deeds for your whole life, the completing karma will not be the same. The propelling karma was good, it delivered you. So now, maybe we could put it this way. The propelling karma delivers you to a place, delivers you to a state. That is what propelling karma is. So the propelling karma, which was the last thought, the good thought which you had at the moment of death, delivered you to a good place. But the completing karma, which was all of the negative deeds you did in your past lifetime, because you did that, even though you may be born as a human, you will, as a result, you will be born as a very weak human, stricken with many types of illnesses, diseases. One will be poor. One will face financial difficulty, struggles, and one will always be unhappy, physically and mentally unhappy, and full of suffering. So that is the completing karma. Now, similarly, if one were to accumulate good deeds for one's whole lifetime, but at the moment of one's death, one has a negative thought, then the propelling karma, which is the negative thought at the moment of death, will deliver you to one of the lower realms, such as the hell or the hungry ghost or the animal realm. However, because there's also the completing karma, which decides your state. The completing karma was the karma which was the good deeds that you have accumulated during your whole lifetime. As a result of that karma, even though you will be born in the lower realms due to your propelling karma, the completing karma will secure you with life or the state of like the Naga king. So basically, within the lower realms, you will be reborn as one of the powerful beings of the lower realms. Like, for example, we have Yama, the Lord of Death. He lives in hell, but he himself doesn't really need to suffer. He decides the suffering of others. He sort of weighs the karma of beings there. So like that, you'll be reborn in a bad place, but you won't really have to experience much suffering. You'll be reborn as one of the more powerful beings, such as the Naga King, and something like that. And so now for the 14th point. The 14th point shows that if both the propelling karma and the completing karma are negative, then as a result, one will experience suffering. If the propelling and completing karma are both virtuous, as a result, one will be happy. If the propelling and the impelling karma are sort of a mixture of both good and negative, then as a result, one's state will also be sort of like a mixture of sort of good, sort of bad. And also, this point will show that the propelling karma, if the propelling karma is strong, then the result will come quickly. If the propelling karma is, the force of the propelling karma is weak, the result will come very slowly. If it's strong, the result will come very quickly, like in this lifetime. If it's weak, it will be like in future lifetimes. So for this, Papa says, "Nika dipe tatu du, nika kewe tapar de, yedik mate chebe de, mate nyongshin jemai, jema nyungi pembe tu choda mebe chitaki, keda lenjang shen du nyong." So there's about 2 verses. So he's saying that if both of the propelling and completing karma are negative, you will always be suffering as a result. If they're both good, you will always be happy as a result. If they're a mixture, the result will also be sort of like a mixture. And if it's very strong, the results will come in this lifetime, will ripen in this lifetime. If the propelling karma is weak, it will ripen in future lifetimes. So that's it. And then now for the 15th point, it is about showing whether it is good deeds or negative deeds. If the cause is powerful, if it's very strong, then you must experience the result. But due to certain conditions, it is not sure whether you will experience the results very quickly or slowly. Things can either be delayed or it can happen very quickly. So what he's saying is that if the power of the cause is very strong, you will certainly experience the result. But due to certain conditions, nothing is for sure. So this is in regard to time. Of course, you need to experience the result, but in regard to time, nothing is sure whether you'll experience it quickly or you will be delayed. For the 16th point, it shows that basically, if the good deeds which are committed with a pure motivation, if good deeds are accumulated with the pure motivation, you will experience happiness. If they are accumulated with impure motivation, you will experience suffering. And this is the law of nature. And this is illustrated with the example. So there's about 2.5 verses here. So if you were to plant individual, the seeds separately, so like you plant the tomato seed, and the apple seed, and the orange seed, and all of these different seeds separately, as a result, by planting the apple seed, as a result there will be an apple. By planting the orange seed, there will be an orange, and likewise. It isn't like if you plant an apple seed, as a result an orange will grow, or if you plant an orange seed, as a result, an apple will grow. That's not how, from in a worldly way, if you look at things in our daily lives, you find that from the correct causes, this is basically the point, from the correct causes arises the correct results. By planting an apple seed, an apple grows. So that's how it works. So that is the example. It's never, the connection between the apple seed and the apple is never mistaken. The connection between orange and its cause is never mistaken. So likewise, the connection between the good karma and happiness is never mistaken. If you commit good deeds, there will be happiness. It's not like there will be suffering. If you commit negative deeds, there will be suffering, not happiness. But this is mainly speaking about the motivation. The deeds which are accumulated with the pure motivation, there will be happiness. The deeds which are accumulated with the impure motivation, there will be suffering as the result. Now for the 17th point, it shows that the type of karma which is accumulated with a very powerful object and action and motivation cannot be averted by anyone. And so therefore, we need to rely on its antidotes and be diligent in accumulating good deeds. So for this, there is Yudang Mondo Sambe Dok Chidu Tudan Dembe Te Gyalwe Dokar Mijuna Shengi Mega Jishu Yuangyang Changju Semso Yada Tongi Shi Legi Jiba Quince Wazari Nimbo Inchi Be. So there's two verses here. So it says that the karma which is accumulated with great object, action and motivation, even the Buddha cannot avert such karma, or cannot do anything about your karma. So for this there are two different types mainly. There are certain types of negative deeds which the object, the person you are directing the negative deed towards is someone very powerful, like maybe your parents, who you have a very strong karmic connection with. If you kill one of your parents, then in this case, the action is killing, the motivation is the thought to kill, and the object is your father or mother. So in this case, all three of the action, motivation, and the object are very powerful, and the deed was, of course, negative deed. So such a deed, the Buddha, even the Buddha cannot help you. The Buddha does not have control over your karma. There's one thing, one main thing which the Buddha does not have control over, and that is the karma of sentient beings, especially if it is extremely powerful like that. And the same goes for good deeds. If we were to offer, like an offering of a mandala, for example, with the very highest motivation of bodhicitta and compassion and faith to the object such as our guru or the three jewels, and that is a very powerful good deed, and it can, nothing can really jeopardize that good deed, and the results will most certainly be very good. And as for the ones that the earlier mentioned one, which was very bad, the results will certainly be beyond imaginable. So it says that even if the Buddha cannot change your karma, which especially was committed with such powerful object, action, and motivation, then there's no need that other people cannot change, and no need to say that other people can also, they are also not capable of changing your karma. So this means that we need to take responsibility of our own actions, because nobody else can really help you. You decide your own destiny. If you want to be happy, that depends on what you do. If you want to be unhappy, then that also depends on you. We have a saying, if you're interested, if you're curious to know about your past lives, we don't have clairvoyance, we cannot easily see or know what our past lives are, but we still might wonder, especially for Buddhists who believe in past lives and future lives, we might wonder, what were the past lives, who was I? Well, the simple answer, which could put one's mind at ease, is that you just look at your present self, your present state. If things are going well for you, you're happy, you're living long, you do not have much sicknesses, financially you're doing well, you have met with Buddha Dharma, with good teachers, and all of that, if things are basically going well for you, that is a sign that in the past you accumulated a lot of good deeds. So that with that you know sort of roughly what your past state was or situation was. If you're curious to know about your future situation, you also look at your present state. If you find yourself to be accumulating negative deeds, harboring impure thoughts, and doing deeds both negative virtually and physically and verbally, then you can be certain that in the future nothing really good is in store for you. But if you find that you're doing good deeds right now, then you can be certain that in the future there's something good in store for you. And Papa Rinpoche also says that if one is endowed with the mind of enlightenment, and also loving kindness and compassion, as well as the understanding of emptiness, which is the nature, the true ultimate nature of phenomena, then one can eliminate all obscurations and the evil karma, and in the long term go beyond karma, because especially the fully enlightened Buddha, he or she is not bound by karma. Once you leave samsara, once you're out of cyclic existence, then you are not under the law of karma. The Buddha, of course, Shakyamuni Buddha, who appeared in this world, accumulated good deeds and abandoned negative deeds and all of that. But that is mainly to be in accord with the worldly customs and the law of nature, in order to put an example for his followers and sentient beings to follow. But the Buddha himself or herself doesn't really necessarily need to abide by the law of karma. And such an example would be Mahasiddha Virupa, or even Naropa, and such Mahasiddhas of basically the 84 Mahasiddhas of India. Their lives were very eccentric. They did the opposite of what most Buddhist scriptures would say is good. But in reality, everything, because their motivation was correct, everything that they did was good. But on the outward appearance, it looked like they were sinners, maybe, troublemakers. And so basically, because this is the antidote to karma, the bodhicitta and the